Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube. This is Pastor Down. You know, I got some more shocking news, as if news is not already shocking enough. It's no secret that I've been advocating over the years gold and silver, gold and silver, gold and silver. Of course, you have to know the historical facts about this country right here and the moves that they made in the 30s in order to some people on both sides of the fence, whether they confiscated the gold or they didn't confiscate the gold. Either way it goes. You know, it's amazing. When the Federal Reserve Act came into being in 1913, what it did was it brought in a central bank. And anytime you bring in a central bank of that type of magnitude and stuff to rob the wealth of people. Now, I understand that people do not believe that their wealth has been robbed from them simply because they have greenbacks in their pockets that is not backed up by anything but the so-called benevolent good word and trust of the United States of America. An informed mind would actually ask themselves the question, how good is that word? I mean, what about history has our country ever told the truth about? I mean, what part of history have they ever told us the truth about? I understand that we may accept the truth, what we call the truth, independently, simply because they told us and they trained us, they manipulated us, they coerced us to believe that to be the truth. But nevertheless, the bottom line is there's a lot of lies that have gone on and a lot of deaths. You remember I said it no more than a few videos ago that there's been more people to die in the last century than all the history of mankind put together, with all the wars of man has ever been involved in. I don't care what nationality, what culture, what heritage, what language, what nation, it makes no difference. Within the last 100 years, there's been more people to die in that last century than all previous centuries put together. I mean, that's staggering. It's extraordinary. But let me get to the news here. You know what was going to happen. And you can see that the government, the powers that be, quote unquote, they're starting to make the moves because they're very uncomfortable. They are starting to defend themselves against the people who are acting independently of the system, because simply we've lost trust in the government. And if you ever had trust in the government, then that's your own fault. If you know anything about government, that government can't produce anything. They only can take. That's the reason why a lot of us see our paychecks jacked from anywhere from $25 to $125 every week now, because we have heavy taxation without representation. The problem that we're having here today is, and I want you to listen to this. Now, you know that California, in my opinion, is a socialist communist state. And I think that Illinois is just now passed or surpassed California to be the #1 heavyweight champion of the United States of America, who can be the most immoral, who can be the most spiritual bankrupt, and who can be the most literally chaotically insane. Listen to this right here. It's going to shock you. Listen to this. Now, you know that the socialists and the communists are trying to go after our guns. It's no secret. And you know that America's not going to give it up. I don't care what bills and what laws they pass. You know they're not going to give it up. All right. Here's the other part right here. See, this lets you know that the Constitution of the United States of America is in effect, and it is inevitably a correct document. It's a right document. Look at this. They're coming after the gold and silver, and guess who's leading the charge? The communist state of Illinois. I don't understand why you people live in these population centers like Chicago, Detroit, New York, New Jersey, Los Angeles. I don't understand why people live in places like that knowing how bad everything is. I mean, but anyway, look at this. A bill to register buyers of gold and silver coins. Did y'all hear that? A bill to register buyers of gold and silver coins. Register buyers of gold and silver coin? You see, everything we do here in this country, there is a physical track record, whether it be electronic or paper. It makes no difference. There's a track record. And anytime that they want to track you, they track you by that paper right there. Now listen to this, or electronically. Listen to this article right here. I mean, you ain't going to believe this. Look at this. The article reads, written by Gary North on January 8th, 2013, it had to come. It has been introduced into Illinois, the most anti-gun state in the U.S. of A. Listen what it says. Creates the Precious Metal Purchasing Act. Provides that a person who is in the business of purchasing precious metals shall obtain a proof of ownership, create a record of the sale, and verify the identity of the seller. Provides that a person who is in the business of purchasing precious metals shall not pay for the precious metal in cash and shall record the method of payment. Requires the purchaser to keep a record of a sale for 1 year, or if the purchase amount is over $500 for 5 years. Provides that a person who violates the act is guilty of a petty offense and subject to a fine not exceeding $500. Provides that the Attorney General may inspect records, investigate, and an alleged violation and take action to collect civil penalties. Whew. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave a link below if you want to read the entire bill. But I tell you what, it was introduced, believe it or not, and we're not hearing about it. This is in Illinois. Now, understand this. These people make backroom deals all the time. And if this is in place for one state, they're planning on trying to shoot this thing all the way across the board. Now, are they going to be successful in this? No. I don't think they're going to be successful at all. But I think you need to know that, what kind of spirit that these people are up under. I think you need to know, your so-called elected officials, that they do not represent you as the people. And I think you need to know that once a politician, always a liar. And if you have any type of aspirations of becoming a politician, think you're going to change anything, you have lied to yourself. Because that snake's pen, that lion's den up there, it's more than any human spirit can stand, because it's Satan's seat. That's all there is to it. It's just Satan's seat. But the 97th General Assembly of the state of Illinois is the one where this bill was introduced by Senator Kirk W. Dillard. I mean, this is crazy. But anyway, they're coming for the guns. And think about it, if gold and silver was just tradition, like Ben Shalom Bernanke said, if gold and silver was not money, even though the Constitution tells us that it is the only thing that is money, gold and silver, then why would the government, why would the politicians fear guns, silver, and gold? Why? Why then? Huh? See, America, you need to get back to your roots, your grassroots of understanding the reason why that the quote-unquote so-called founding fathers of this country wrote things a certain way. I don't like a lot of things and policies that this country does, but you know what? You do need to read this document right here. You need to read this document, because this document was also drafted up by a bunch of Moors. Of course, it has a bunch of other history behind it, but the words in it are correct for forming and running a civil government, if you understand what I mean. But I tell you what, this bill, I'm going to include the link down below if you want to read it. I think it's pretty sad. I think you're going to need not only one, but maybe two, but maybe even 3 locations to possibly set up residence. And that's the reason why it's good for each and every last one of you. And I want you to hear me real good. Some of you are not moving at all. It's irrelevant. It makes no difference. But to the ones that actually listen and preparing, and I understand that it takes time. That's why that it's good for you to start preparing yourselves and start learning how to be friendly and start learning how to trust people and see if they can be trusted before you build a rapport with them. Set up mutual assistance groups. Have a place that if you had to bug out, bail out, or go somewhere, of a safe place, or what you want to call a safe house. Those people need to be trusted. You need to know that you can trust them, and there's very few of those people that are left in the world nowadays, since the decline of morality is really sinking very, very fast and bad in this country. I know it's difficult, but a lot of times the reason why you can't trust people is simply because if you really truly look at the matter, you have reservations and you have different types of reserves and compartments of your heart where you yourself can't be trusted. Well, when someone is actually putting forth an example and providing an example of what it means to be trustworthy, you need to embrace that. Use those character traits as methods of strength and grow yourself. So they're coming after the guns. They're coming after the gold and the silver. Why? Because they're the staples of this country. It's value. Now, if gold and silver wasn't money, won't they just go ahead and pass a bill, since they believe that Federal Reserve notes is money? Won't they just try to regulate people storing those? Makes sense, huh? Because it ain't money. Well, I hope you learned something. And what's amazing to me is you have to understand how many times that people like myself have been raked over the coals because we're students of history. Like I told you, I don't know. I can't. Sometimes I get off, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I probably have 7 or 8 bookshelves in my house, and they're there for a reason. And I'm talking about large bookshelves that I built myself. Most of them. Could be 10. I think could be 10. But I tell you what, you're going to have to exercise some independent thinking. You really, truly are. You're going to have to start researching. Because when somebody gets up here and tells you the truth, it's such an impact on the psyche of man's conscience, the spirit of unbelief. As soon as you hear the truth, the first thing you do is you rationally discard. Bam! You just throw it out like it don't mean nothing. You just throw it away. You just throw it away because you accept ownership and responsibility of some of the things that you've embraced in life. And if you didn't come up with it, it's hard for you to believe. And if you didn't choose to accept it on your own, even though you didn't go back, you did not go back and checked out to see if the people who have been sitting in front of you teaching you whatever they taught you, if it was the truth or not, you didn't go check it out. You just chose to accept it, and it has become, in essence, part of your makeup and your fabric. I understand how much it hurts when you understand you believed a lie and you believe something a certain way for a very long period of time, only to come to find out that the people who taught you was just as deceived as you were. But you're responsible. Every single day, you have an opportunity to improve and better yourself for this particular life right here, as well as the life to come. You do. But you have to make changes, and those changes have to come from informed decisions. Those changes have to come from someone who is willing to take the necessary steps that it takes, no matter how painful it is, to make sound choices and decisions. It may cost you your family. It may cost you your job. It may cost you your comforts in life. But whatever it is, it's going to cost. And you have to be willing to pay the price. Anyway, keep stacking. Buy all you can. And don't report nothing to nobody. I don't care what unlawful law that they pass. And that's the truth. And that's the truth. Straight way.